What's going on, guys? Evan the Final Fantasy VIII enthusiast here, bringing another Final Fantasy VIII gameplay commentary. And this time, I think after long last, after hours upon hours of playing cards with the guy who is the keeper of the garden, and you probably saw some of his uploads in probably saw some of his card games in part 2, I think we are finally ready to take inventory of our card stock and see if we've got enough to cheese the game. So first off, stat is the most important because that governs your physical attack damage. We have 19 Abyss Worms. Abyss Worms, through refinement with GFs, 15 Abyss Worms will get you Tornado. And so this 15 is enough to get 100 on 3 characters. So we have 19, done. Alright. For Vitality, Regen was pretty good. There are better options, but Regen was the one that was dropping for me the most often. You need 16 of these guys to get 300 Regens for each of your Vitality Junctions. We've got it. Okay, so for Death, which is your best magic junction early game, you need, God, almost everything refines into Death. So we've got this. We have enough to put probably 700 deaths, maybe more. So in case you're wondering, though, they do come from Tom Berries, so no problem whatsoever. Okay, so next up we need Strength, or I'm sorry, HP, which is really, Karaga is really good for that early game. Now, we can't get Karaga right now, but we can get Karaga outside of the card game system, and I've played so much cards that I don't want to. Tom Berries and Tom Berry Kings both refine into deaths, as does a couple other cards that drop often, so tons and tons and tons of these guys, so no problem. So HP, lastly, is Quake. Quake's really good for that stat, and you need 15 Armadons to max out a party. We have 17, so we're good to go, guys. At long last, it's time. Okay. Junction. Squall, you are going to be junctioned with... Okay. I'm going to give Squall Shiva. Oops. These will all get better soon. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do our abilities here. We need Draw, Magic, GF, and nothing. Make sure my GFs are still learning the crap I want them to be learning. Shiva's learning Refinement, which is easily what I want her to learn, no problem. And for it. I actually don't want him to learn Fire Refinement right now. Well, it doesn't really matter. We'll go ahead and let him learn. But we really want a Strength plus 20. We're going to learn Strength plus 20 now. Quetzalcoatl card, for sure. Okay, guys, we're ready. We're ready to go to Dalit and actually proceed with the game. By proceed with the game, I mean grind for their 1,000,000 hours, which is kind of sad to say the least. Okay, so back up both my files, so I have a fallback in case something goes horribly wrong. Okay, now we have to go to our room and change, because once I change my clothes, I can go participate in a mission, because I'll be in my awesome uniform, right? Now, despite having pretty much broken the game at this point, we have not broken it to the point that we could. I mean, you could keep doing this to get meltdowns. You can actually get meltdowns in the first hour of the game. Well, no, that's not true. Not counting playing card time, you could get meltdown in the first 3 hours of the game easily. But not really about that life right now. Get changed. This is more than enough to one-shot 90% of the enemies, so a lot of the other stuff you're getting just doesn't really do anything. So we're about to take the Seed exam. Well, the Dalit part of the Seed exam. The Fire Cavern started the Seed exam. There's Queestus, who still has a total crush on Squall. This guy's sort of ungrateful. I understand he's... What's the word? I'm trying to think of the best way to describe. Like... Zell. I mean, well, I would not want Zell's personality. I would not mind having that agility. In any case, getting back to the task at hand, I was saying about Queestus. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. With, goes to shake. See, it's what makes playing Squall so painfully annoying. We get to learn about Zell's limit breaks, which, by the way, are incredibly powerful. whether you're cheesing the game or you're not cheesing the game. But I'm completely disinterested in using Zell because I hate him. So I'm not using Zell. I would still shake someone's hand even if I hated them, though, just for civility. I suppose I probably wouldn't hate Zell in real life. He'd probably be fun to be around, but in the game he's annoying. Like I said, total crush on Skull. He's like a funny guy because, I mean, at this point in the game he's pretty single, and once we hit the heroine of the game, Renoa, he'll fall for her so quickly, which is funny because, I mean, I don't know, Quistis has got the body for him. All the Final Fantasy characters do. Might have something to do with the fact she's a teacher and she's older than him. It's semi-creepy. It's just, I don't know. The whole Quistis element in this game is just bizarre. I hate it when people wish me luck. Trolled. I do love his arm throwing and stuff like that. Seifer, very energetic person. Admittedly, I actually enjoy Seifer in this game. It's funny, I remember when I was a kid, I just hated Seifer. So arrogant, so cocky. Kind of a jerk. Backstabber. Headmaster Sid, awesome character. Gotta have a Sid in every Final Fantasy, it's a rule. And, you know, I'm good with that, because I always like the Sid characters. Yes, Sid, give me a pep speech. So I can go power level for the next 10 hours. Probably won't actually take 10 hours. I mean, once I explain the method, I'll go more into how much time you can or can't put into it, so we'll see how that's going. Prove yourselves worthy. Best of luck. I'm about this life right now. Everyone get into the car! It's very important that when you don't actually talk to anybody when you do this. Talking to people outside of your party will actually result in a lower seed exam because you're not focused on your mission, you're chit-chatting, you're wasting people's time. Poor Zell. Quistis continues to flirt. Badly. She has easily the most annoying squad ever. Bunch of children. Zell Rage, Quistis, total headache. It's so hard to drive. We have a car. Oh no, a draw point. Let me off so I can get spells I don't need. It's essential. Okay. Hurry, Squall. I do like the garden attack ship there. Looks pretty cool. I enjoy it. Zoo. Dalit Dukedom Parliament. 18 hours ago. We've been under attack. Send help. Ah, the famous landing cinematic. Obviously considered one of the best cinematics in this game, and tends to make top 100 cinema history clips, so that'll be cool. The order to withdraw takes priority. Do not forget. Any questions? Talk to Quistis. Let Sue out. Do nothing. I'll do it, because you're in charge, and I'll lose points on my seat exam if I don't. Wasn't that cinematic cool? It's a lot cooler if you don't have crap music, but... Go to the central square. Move out! Alright, hold up. Before we do anything too crazy, Seifer needs junction to infer it. Of course, Seifer has no magic right now. We'll fix that later once we draw some. Draw, magic, GF. Okay. Junction, Zell. There's another character I hate. Quascoddle. Magic. Oops. Draw, magic, GF. Alright, boys. Now, quick advice here. Literally the most important thing you can do is kill Zell and Squall the minute you get into a battle. It is imperative. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and get a save. Number 2 is now an archival save. Let's go, boys! Alright. Most important battle of your life. Do not deal damage to others. Squall, hate yourself. Everyone hates Squall. Should be easy. There we go. Well, we're in crisis mode. We could limit break, which is the opposite of what we want to do. Zell, beat yourself up, bruh. Good Galbadia soldiers. Slaughter Zell! Yes. Yes! Considering I, right now, have issues with both of these characters. And Squall has a really low chance of going into Crisis. He's like 29 HP and still not going into Crisis. Finish yourself off, Squall. Alright, perfect. Seifer can go into Crisis mode at basically any HP. This is the only time you'll ever actually get to have Seifer in your party, sadly. Spoilers alert. So it is good you get to have your fun with him. Bam! And they're down. Get used to seeing that animation a lot. So they don't receive any XP, that's perfect. The GFs do receive HP. Talk to none of those people that ran up. Ignore the urge to socialize and play the RPG as if it's a game where you talk to people. You'll lose seed points. Instead, we charge! Attack from above! Sneak attack! God, the music's so bad when you don't have the... if you play this game and you don't care about your Steam achievements, I would strongly encourage everyone to go download and install the original soundtrack from the PSN version. There's a lot of threads about how to do that on the Steam forum. I'll put a link in the description too on how to successfully mod regular music back into the game. The reason I have it is I want to have a true version of the PC playthrough, even with the crap music. Okay, charge! You're spending a lot of time here, so... Don't leave me hanging now. What an idiot. I agree, Zell, I agree. Now the game's gonna troll you here in a minute. Not with that, though. What? I don't have enough damage to one-shot him. I should have limited braked him. Oh well. More potions. See, the direction he points will actually cause you to lose points. Alright. Yeah, there is no front or back row on this game. You don't want to talk to the dog. Which I think I might have. But you don't want to talk to the dog. Just don't do it. In fact, I think that's kind of a forced restart, sadly. Because when you talk to the dog, you lose seed exam points. Oh no! Don't worry, guys. That's why I back up my saves a lot. So when I make little mistakes like that, we're not just straight out of it. I'm gonna laugh if I lose points for trying to get out of my car earlier because I hit the wrong button. If that happens, I'll just lose some seed exam points. Screw it. This is only a couple seconds back, so I'm willing to correct it. The other sneak attack! Ah! Too scary. So scary. So these guys are definitely going to get no mercy. I need to get some magic, though, to junction to Seifer's strength stat. Which pretty much means fire. So I'm going to have Seifer draw fire here in a second. Just not yet, though. You guys remember the joy of drawing, right? Oh, wow. See, we even got good drops by reloading. All completely unnecessary, but good drops nevertheless. Dude, he wants to fight so bad. Got that fire in the belly. I find the dialogue in this game semi-funny. Peeks corner, sees party of three. Time to engage. Ah, yeah. It's single soldier. Perfect. Actually, this one is not perfect. Oh, you jerk. That's actually gonna hurt a little bit. Okay. No mercy incoming. Ah! 1,000,000 damage. Alright. So since we're about to go grind, quite possibly 1,000,000 enemies, time to go to battle speed and jack it up. Time to play sped out. I probably didn't talk to that dog. The dog is probably talking to me. What a waste of time. Oh well. Fire! Stock. Hopefully we'll get at least 5. 2. That is significantly less. 8. So 10. Literally only 100. Not even stocking a large quantity of them. 15. This will allow me to junction something into the strength stat until I get my refinement abilities. Yeah, 15, 21. Final Fantasy VIII, baby. Most action-packed RPG of all time. 29. 30, 32, 35, 36, 37, maybe? Can't count with crap here. 40? Am I at 40 even? Have I been counting correctly? No! I have not. I have way more than I thought. 46. 49. Halfway. Give me your fire magic for that damage. Okay. Worst system ever. Am I right? It does feel good to be playing this game again. It's funny, the grind in Demon Souls used to bother me, but the grind in this game doesn't. I guess it's just a matter of perspective. What's kind of scary is eventually you'll fight like stacks of 3 of these guys, and if you're like me, you play with Seifer low HP to increase your limit break chance, your crisis mode, it's actually really scary because you'll just randomly get like hit for like, you know, 200 fire damage if all 3 of them hit Seifer with it, and you're like, ah! Okay. He's gonna get no mercy because he hit me with fire. I like how he hits him with the fire first. It's kind of like what he did to Squall in their little training cinematic at the start of Final Fantasy VIII. Bam! Swing sword around. GF's level up. Okay, Junction Seifer. Magic, strength. There, gives him a little more strength. Okay, there's a draw point there, but I guess I can't use it yet. Guess we're on standby till the enemy comes. Sounds like it's starting. Ah, swing sword around. Ugh. There is a dog there. The puppy is upset. Charge. Galbadia charges forward to try to take the communications tower. Captain's decision. Chase Seifer to the bridge where we'll be spending the next 1,000,000 hours of our lives. Ah, now the draw point's there. What? Apparently Seifer is back behind the thing. Free battle! Alright guys, time to level up for 1,000,000 years. This is what I'm talking about! If I get trips fired here, I might die. No, I won't. Who am I kidding? And these dudes are gonna get no mercied, because that's how I roll. So one thing you're doing, even if you're not on a power level playthrough, it's definitely important to... Ooh, that actually increased the limit break damage a lot. It's actually fairly important to not, well, even saying fairly important is probably an exaggeration. It is meaningful to fight 75 enemies before you progress into the communications tower. That will increase your seed rank. And it's nice to have a couple abilities learned. I like it when they're in stacks of 3. Oh. Oh no, guys, they're doing it. The triple fire thing. No mercy, Seifer. Got the fire. Bam. 3 AP a shot. Gonna take a lot of fights to do this. Of course, Seifer is the only one leveling up. Okay, someone just learned a magical refinement. I think it was Shiva, probably? Yep. But some magic sucks, don't learn any of that. This is really good, but we're actually more interested in Strength Junction and VIII Junction. Or all the junctions, that's what we're interested in. Infrared is currently working on Strength plus 20. That's what we want ultimately. So many things we need right now, so early in the game. Okay, so you can come back here and save during your power leveling, in case you get bored, which you will. Alright, so basically, now I can take this time to explain the Seifer method. The Seifer method consists of killing off your other 2 party members and using Seifer to level up these GFs. Since this is a no level up playthrough of the game, there's very few chances to actually level GFs. And this is your moment where you can level these 2 GFs to full immediately if you're so inclined. These 3 GFs can be leveled to full immediately if you're willing to stay here and level for many hours. Okay, a couple quick things about doing this method. The priority you need to learn skills on these GFs, these Guardian Forces, Part of it's up to preference, but I recommend you're going to learn Card, then Card Mod, which will unlock after Card is done. Then you're going to want to learn Thunder Magic Refine. Definitely the correct order. Then on Shiva, you're going to want to learn all these junctions because she doesn't really have anything that important. Both the junctions, then I would go probably Spirit by 20. Infrared, you're going to want to go Strength 20, 40, and 60 for sure because they're all amazing. And then at that point you can learn HP Junction. Well, I know. I would do all the strengths, then the Fire Magic Refinement, then the HP Junction, then whatever you want. It's very important while you're here that you at least get Infrared to level 10. I'll explain why when that time comes, but basically at level 10 you unlock the ability to refine ammo, and it's very important for people trying to get early weapons because, surprisingly, the creation of some weapons in this game, even if they're swords, requires ammo. So I don't know why, it's whatever. This draw point is still out, but it does give you silence, which at this point in the game is pretty relevant and is useful in a couple fights. So it's good to start stocking silence while you're here. You're going to be here long enough to stock at least 100, probably more. This will slow you down as single Galbadian soldiers. You'll spend more time in the battle scene and the victory animations, getting your little XPs and your APs than you'll actually be in battle. So the way I like to do this is I like to run to the end of the bridge and then go back the other way. I mean, basically you just want to fight on the bridge. The bridge has the highest encounter rate and the highest encounter rate for the triple soldiers in my opinion. Okay. Fire across, no mercy. When there's a set of 3, you're going to want to no mercy them. If there's a single Galbadian soldier, Seifer's regular attack will be enough. And really there's nothing to it. You learn the infrared strength abilities because they're extremely useful. Because most of your damage in these low-level playthroughs comes from your physical attack through junctioning, not your magic. Oh, for stocking potions and Phoenix Downs, if you ever need to heal, you can always draw Cure and cast it. Draw Cure, cast Cure from any of the Galbadian soldiers. I really don't think it's important. And I think I read online that depending on your luck, this can take 16 to 24 hours-ish to take both your GFs to level, all 3 of your GFs to level 100. Completely unnecessary to take them that high. I will probably learn. I'll get Infrared at least to 10, and I'll see how many abilities I have. Then from there, I'll make my determination if I want to go further with this or not. I usually go back and forth across the bridge 3 times, then I go hit the draw point to continue stocking silences. One thing that is fun about this is, and one thing I definitely recommend for any player who's doing a no-level playthrough is, besides getting Infrared to 10, I'd say it's really important to learn all your refinement on Quetzalcoatl, your card, your COD mod, and your Thunder Magic refinement. It's all very important. Admittedly, none of it's mandatory, but it's all generally very useful. Make sure that when a GF levels up, you making sure this is all set up correctly. Shiva. I would also recommend putting Infrared on Seifer because you want to have Strength Junction to your active fighter, if you will, which is Seifer in this case. But okay, so Quetzalcoatl has learned Card at last, so we can card enemies to prevent ourselves from gaining AP, provided the enemy can be carded. Most enemies can. Okay, at this point we've unlocked Card Mod, which is incredibly important and going to be a lot of fun once we get there. Infrared is going to be learning Strength for a long time. So we got to one side of the bridge, we'll go back to the other. Back the other way. I like the background on this, the background for the bridge area. Considering we spend so much time there, it's good that I like it. You may not have to junction anything to Strength to one-shot those guys, but being able to one-shot them like that definitely speeds things up. You don't want to have to no mercy those guys or attack them with physical twice. Every little bit of delay like that really adds up. So we're going to go back over here real quick and draw. Seifer. Apparently Seifer is standing behind this statue. Or he is the statue. I don't know. So, 10 silences, 1/10 the way there on silences, or 1/4 depending if you want to get the highest possible stock of them you can at this point in the game. It's whatever. Triple! Yay! I think you have 50-50 odds against... Oh no! No mercy those guys. How to trigger your limit breaks. This is pretty self-explanatory, but Seifer can trigger them pretty much at any HP below like 90% or 86% or something like that. Basically, if Seifer's taken any damage, it's easy. So when you have a party member down, you've received damage, you can enter Crisis Mode, which is your limit break, which is the no mercy in Seifer's case. Probably the easiest way to think about it is, if you want to use no mercy a lot, which you're going to want to, just keep Seifer at like 300-ish HP, or junction something to his HP, because you want to be lower than his maximum possible HP. And having your other two character members dead helps a lot too. If you pull up your stuff and you don't have a limit break waiting for you, just toggle between characters, and since Seifer's your only character, it'll toggle to him quickly. You can keep re-rolling the turn like that until you pop your limit break, which is pretty much something that broke this game, was limit break spamming. Which, whatever, I mean, it's a single-player game, so it doesn't really matter. Sometimes I feel like I have better encounter rates in the middle of the bridge. I don't know, I think that's all just in my mind. You start to, like, when you grind an area for a couple hours, you start to believe things, you know? Like, I think the enemies spawn better in this corner than that corner. It's all nonsensical, of course, it's just what you find yourself believing. There's so much RNG in this process. You know, the RNG of finding 3 soldiers at a time, the RNG of Seifer's meteor, or excuse me, his meter for his turn charging quickly, Seifer's limit break proccing as quickly as possible. This all translates into seconds, which over the course of hundreds and hundreds of battles translates into, you know, meaning. So Seifer's kind of low, so I'm going to go ahead and potion him. There we go. Running in circles. Some people insist on taking their 3GFs to level 100. I will most likely not do that. It's just such a commitment of time and not one I'm particularly interested in making. It's also minimally useful. You'll probably rarely, if ever, summon your GFs to actually attack people. Got a potion and some AP. The silence draw point's probably back online, so we can go check it. Nope. Guess we need to do maybe 3 up and downs across the bridge, right? Once I get the... I don't remember the exact... I just had the exact count how many times I had to walk the bridge. Once I have the exact count, I'll start doing that each time. Triples! No mercy. Alright, that's what I want. That fight over and over. To go just like that. I actually think that No Mercy looks pretty awesome. It's just unfortunate that I have to watch it like a million times. So. I'm hoping in this upload I get enough AP within. I try to keep these limited to like roughly an hour. So I'd like to get enough battles in that I can show you guys where I'm going with this whole thing. So I can show you the refinement and junction system so you can see just how OP it's going to make the game. Okay, it's ready now. Seifer, 15. Oh no, we rolled 8. All sorts of the silences. Looks like 3 times is probably enough. So I'll talk to you guys about, kind of picked out some topics to talk about because I knew we'd be grinding here with nothing to do except listen to me talk to an invisible audience that can't actually answer me. It's like doing a lecture on something that's not important. But one thing that's been kind of thinking about is all these games I've bought over the years that, you know, ultimately sat in their case and never played them. Like, what a colossal waste of money. I've been having some money problems lately because of poor money management and buying too much stuff. This is the first time I've had, like, quote-unquote real disposable income in my life. So I'm always spending all my time like, God, I need money. I need money. So between my car payment and debt payment and things like that, I'm not like loaded right now, but I have more than I've ever had before. So I've been buying all this stuff. It's definitely not like essentials. It's just stuff. An example for that is I've been buying a lot of Dota 2 cosmetics, which are basically a money pit because they do nothing to do anything. They just look cool, and they don't look that cool. So, definitely a money down a rat hole. I've been thinking about that a lot, like, why am I buying this junk? Like, this is the definition of disposable income, creates waste. Once you have money to waste, you do, and, you know, I feel kind of like I'm so far in on the Dota 2 cosmetics that I can't stop now. Basically, my position when it comes to Dota cosmetics was, essentially, I want a set for every hero. And I also want to keep the most pimped Nature's Prophet I possibly can, because it's the hero I love. I have a pretty pimped Juggernaut too, but that's not like a mission. But I want to keep my Nature's Prophet as pimp as possible, because that is easily my favorite Dota hero. So other things I've wasted money on, like, that I kind of forgot I ever bought, was like, so I'm sure maybe you guys have heard of the Mech Warrior series. Well, Mech Warrior Online, when that was in beta, man, I had such high hopes for that game. I love mech games, but I haven't played them in years. So I kind of thought that would be my game. Like, instead of Dota, ever getting into Dota, I was going to get into Mech Warrior, man. That was the plan. So, you know, I bought the collector's edition of Mech Warrior, which was like $200. It comes with all this cool stuff, and I was so excited. Then I played it for like 10 hours one day, and it just hit me all at once, like, man, this is dull. And I don't have like a team. I'm not going to have any friends that are going to play this, so it's going to get really boring really fast. Thus, you know, my Mech Warrior career ended, but it's not like I could call the company and be like, oh yeah, glad I pre-ordered the collector's edition and gave you $200-ish. Turns out I'm not going to play. Can I get that money back? What a waste. I bought Zone of the Enders collector's edition for like $100 and like never played it until years later, where I played Zone of the Enders 1 and I've started Zone of the Enders 2. One time I thought about uploading them to the channel, but then it said it's more of a single-player game that's best with silent commentary, I think. So that never made it to the channel. It also never even got played. So I'll probably one day play through Second Runner. I believe that. But who knows when, right? It's starting to be really hard to justify spending money on video games when I play so much like Dota. Another big money sink for me has been custom art Magic cards. I'm a Magic the Gathering player, although I don't seem to actually play any opponents. I just seem to be collecting cards to never play anybody, because I never really have the time to go out and... Basically, there's no players around me that play in any actual formats. They all play casual, and my casual decks are too strong to actually play in casual. Like, they get burned out pretty quick. Like, nobody wants to lose all the time. And I don't really like want to intentionally make, like, a junk deck just so that my opponents can beat me or have a chance of beating me. I try to make casual decks, but even my casual decks crush their casual decks, which is a combination of two things. It's play skill and collection. I'm by no means an amazing Magic the Gathering player, but I used to go to like Friday Night Magic and stuff in high school religiously. I mean, I'd be at a Friday Night Magic a minimum of every week, and probably a casual match once a week too with my friends, so it's a lot of Magic. So you get used to playing Magic correctly, and you get used to making quote-unquote tactical decisions in the world of Magic the Gathering. So it's also just card availability and card quantity. I've got so much money invested in my MTG collection that they can't possibly win, and since I'm not really playing in tournaments anymore, I don't invest money in cards that are good. I invest in cards I think are awesome, because I'm like a true casual now. Like a true casual that plays as though I'm playing in like tournaments still, so I don't know. I either need to start attending Magic events or stop spending money on magical cards. There's this dude in Norway that does custom art Xenogears cards, and like, God forbid anybody winds up bidding against me, guys, because like I'm just a miserable person to bid against on eBay when it comes to a custom art Magic card. Oops, my phone's dying. Cards that probably took the artist a couple hours to paint at maximum. Like, if I like it, I've been known to bid people up and just wind up paying hundreds of dollars for like a land. A card in Magic that might be worth 20 cents at best. I wind up paying like hundreds plus dollars for, just because, not hundreds, like, the highest I've ever bid is like 100 on one card just because I really like it. For that much, I could pay a professional artist to paint pretty much anything I wanted for me. So, I've realized I've been overspending on like custom cards. sometimes I'm concerned that the seller has caught on to how obsessed I am and he's got like a Smurf account. Which is not happening, guys. I know this. I know this custom artist personally now. We've exchanged emails. We just talk stuff about Xenogears now, so that's not what's happening. It just feels that way. So now my new logic is I will never spend, like, on a custom alteration that's not my personal image or design. I will only pay at maximum like $50 plus the value of the card, of course. So like if a card called Force of Will is $50, and I'll pay $100 for it if at max with an alteration. I'm basically trying to slow down my finances a little bit. The problem is I've got to first dig out of the hole I dug myself, kind of thing. And you know, I think a lot of people have been there. I'm by no means like hurting for money. I mean, I don't have a lot of money. I got a couple $1,000s to my name right now, and I'm building it up slowly. I mean, I've winded up in the green every single month. But Christmas is putting me down, which I'm sure everybody's behind due to Christmas. It's more about trying to set good habits. It's more about trying to build a savings account and stuff like that. Why did that minimize? Sometimes my games will do that, like just randomly minimize. I'm always afraid there's like a Trojan process running and it's just activated to steal all my personal information. Not that they'll find anything of value. So probably by the end of the year, because I set long-term goals for myself. Well, at least the GFs are leveling up pretty quick. Man, I can't imagine staying here all the way to level 100. It's just, the thought of that frightens me. Once I'm done doing commentary to this stuff, I will most likely wind up like listening to music, like listening to some jams and maybe talking to the girlfriend on the phone. One thing that's great about games like this is you can talk to the girlfriend and stuff like that on the phone, or call your parents, or do the things you wind up doing once you don't live at home, and you can do them while playing a game like this with the sound muted, because really it's completely mindless. So I played the Dota 2 the Wraith Knight thing. It's like the tower defense variant for Defense of the Ancients, the Christmas event this year. It was a pretty good time. You know, I beat New Game Plus, and that's kind of where I stopped. And I played a lot of it, because it basically became a grind, though, for items at the end, because I had to cash out all those points. I wish that I had maybe played the economy a little better, so I winded up basically wanting the new Abaddon set from that event. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to play enough Dire Tide. Excuse me, Dire Tide. There's no way I'm going to play enough of this event to unlock them all naturally, so I need to try to make stuff that sells in the market high. So I ended up dropping... Ooh, that's exciting. Confession time, guys. I ended up dropping like... Oh, I don't know, basically $100 on the Steam market, and that bought me the new Legion Commander Arcana, because I'm a huge Legion Commander fan. No regrets on that. I know that shocks some people, like, you know, you're going to spend $35 on a single Dota cosmetic? Like, that's a terrible deal. For me, it's like, not really, because for me, you know, I love Dota 2, and I upload Dota 2 to YouTube, and I play a lot of Dota, so the amount of hours I've sunk into Dota versus the amount of money I'm invested makes Dota one of the most cost-efficient games ever. It's just, it doesn't change the gameplay mechanics at all. It's just vanity. Vanity items. So anyway, I regret nothing. At least not that purchase. And I was playing the Wraith Knight and had a lot of fun with it. And so I made as much stuff. I checked my market prices and sold everything off. And between my Wraith Knight loot, I was able to buy the entire Abaddon set and spend probably like, between the Arcana and everything else in the last 2 days, I probably spent like $65-$70 on Dota. So that's really not that bad. I mean, considering how rarely I honestly buy Dota stuff, which isn't very often. Normally I just get it through keys. Like, I trade random rares, I bet rares, I do things like that, and that's how I get my stuff. Okay, so we're unlocking the junctions here. Vitality Junction's going to be the next big one for sure. Lucky Junctions is awesome. Not that we really have anything worthwhile to junction to them yet, but that's what we're working on right now. He's gonna hit me with fire, guys. Ah. No mercy, these guys. Clearly one of those soldiers was much faster than the others. Random chance. I'm actually kind of concerned I missed a level. I doubt it, but I want to make sure Quetzalcoatl doesn't learn anything stupid, because he's the most important GF to me right now. Okay. So GF, Quetzalcoatl, card mod. Okay, he hasn't learned it yet, but he's getting close to learning it. Pretty excited about this, actually. I have about less than 100 AP before I can show you guys the fruits of all this power leveling. This game's gonna be so busted after this. Like, I know we're at like probably 17, 18-ish hours in this game right now, and part of that's because I left my game on one day, so we're probably at legitimately about 15 to 16 hours of farming, with probably average to good luck. More on the average side. So with that said, it probably raises the question, like, that's a lot of grinding. We're about to reach the point where we never have to grind again, which is pretty awesome. That's the advantage on this game about putting all your grinding on the front end, is once you're done, you're done. You never have to do it again. So the reason I learned the strength abilities is they do help you cheese the game against some bosses. It pretty much ensures a one-hit kill against all enemies. All the damage in this game is essentially going to come from Squall having his attack stat junction to Tornado. It's going to be pretty sick. I mean, we're talking like thousands upon thousands of damage in the first hour of the game to physical attacks. It's going to be sickening. Coupled with Squall's limit break for any harder bosses, and the game's a joke. Then once you put on strength plus 60 on him from Infrit, it just gets absolutely out of control, so it's definitely a planned strategy, if you will. One that I think is pretty awesome. It's a long process for sure. But in this game, a couple things of note. This is very important if you're playing FF8 for the first time. A no-level playthrough is certainly an option, but I would be lying to you guys if I said I thought it was a good one. Like, I think that's a terrible option. Just don't do it. It just creates sort of an unnatural thing in the game where you grind a lot more than you think you should have to early game, and you don't really know what to do. Definitely do like a no level up game after you've played the game at least once minimum. But some other things to note, if it is your first time through the game, I would argue that this is imperative. Do not try to level in this game. Just play naturally. You either need to do a no level run or a play naturally run, because going to level up on your own will most likely actually hurt you, because as I said in the first commentary, enemies level up with you in this game. And this is very bad, because if you wind up power leveling, you know, your enemies will power level with you essentially. So, you know, if I have a average party level of 60 and all my enemies are level 60, unless I drew the necessary magic, I'm going to get crushed, because you get very, very little, if any, stack growth from leveling essentially. And that's just painful. Furthermore, if you level your characters early instead of late, you actually make them imperfect, because there are abilities later that will give you advantages upon leveling. Unfortunately, they are not retroactive. You basically have to get them and just have them in your inventory the whole game. So if you're trying to create the perfect party, leveling early screws you over. If you're trying to create an efficient party, leveling early screws you over. So basically your options are either plan it out and power level, which means don't level at all until the optimal moments, which is basically the approach I'm taking, or never level at all. Like, those are your best bets to go about doing this. Never level at all, or just level naturally and not worry about your power level, because the game's really freaking easy. The only way to make this game that challenging is to level your party up, but not know how to actually play, and then you wind up with this overleveled party resulting in overleveled enemies without the magic to actually make it work. Get fired. So another thing is, I'd be interested in some comments if anyone finds the time, you know. I know I'm always asking for feedback and stuff. I used to, when I first got started on YouTube, I remember the priority was getting likes and dislikes and stuff like that. Now it's like, you know, honestly, if I could just know about the content, like, this is not a big YouTube channel, never will be probably, but if it's ever to grow at all, or at least to maintain growth, you know, it needs to put out good content, even if it's only for a small number of subscribers. So the most important thing for a channel like mine is subscriber engagement and getting some comments and stuff, and some videos do better than others. I think some of my stuff just doesn't lend itself to having a lot of comments made, which is completely reasonable. No mercy. So, I know these are, for example, sort of, they're stale in a way because you just watch the same thing over and over, but that's the nature of grind. I mean, I cut out grind from these videos tremendously. I mean, I cut out 14 hours of Tetramaster, the FF8 card game, just because I didn't think you guys would want to watch it. I wouldn't watch it. And this I'm going to limit to only like an hour-ish upload just so you guys can see, you know, how the Seifer method works and how this will wind up power leveling my game. You know, so anyone trying to emulate this, once they see I'm saying emulate my strategies, not emulate the game, by the way. People can, you know, see what I'm doing, which is cool. Like, but once I get past the relevant stuff, it's not a whole lot of value. You know, I thought about doing like some tricky editing for this to show you guys what's up. Like, watch me edit. Like, oh crap, I'm back way too early. For example, I would just like cut to every level up and show you guys what I put points into and stuff like that. And honestly, that editing doesn't really change the content of the video at all, because gaining the information would best be done outside of a video anyway. Would best be done by an FAQ. So that's what's up. No mercy. Hit them with fire. I need a potion after this battle. One thing that really sucks is if you play too cocky and you wind up letting Seifer die, you have to come and do all this again. It's just, it's awful. Come on, Quacecoddle, hurry up and learn something. You get so excited for every single ability you'll gain. Just because every time you gain an ability, you get to go into this menu and mess around with your stuff, which is definitely more exciting than everything we're doing right now. I recommend, just in case your PlayStation or your PlayStation 3 or your PlayStation 4 or your PC or your any other console you're playing on, in case they should have a power loss, or if you're on a PC, if something should get corrupt, if you're on a PlayStation, you get a frozen screen, probably save every hour. That way you don't have, you know, your progress will be routine. It takes less than a minute to walk to the save point. You'll probably pick up some battles along the way, so just go ahead and keep it saved every hour to make sure you don't lose any progress, because that's like the worst. That could single-handedly demoralize a playthrough. I remember when I first attempted a no-level run when I was like 16, 17 maybe. That happened to me, my PlayStation froze, and I hadn't saved in like 3 hours to power level with Seifer. Just like, it's done! I'm not playing this game anymore! And Final Fantasy VIII basically died for me as a series, and I haven't played it again until now, so probably a little bit of overreaction, but it's just stuff. Getting back to a topic I discussed previously, there's a lot of games on my shelf I never actually played through because I didn't like them. Like, I bought them because I thought I would, and I just didn't. Like Metal Gear Solid, or no, I'm sorry, I love Metal Gear Solid. So Guns of the Patriots, Metal Gear. I'm starting to wonder if this is done, I just missed it. 10 more. The whole Metal Gear Guns of the Patriots thing on PlayStation 3, I was so excited for that game, and I didn't like it at all. In fact, I haven't really liked a Metal Gear since Metal Gear Solid, but I keep buying them thinking I'll like them, then I never do. So basically I need to grow up and stop sinking money into games I won't actually play. Metal Gear Solid is definitely one of those games. Open up a mint, getting parched. Talking for over an hour straight is actually more exhausting than it sounds, I promise. Other games that I never played that I bought and I thought I would like would be like Dishonored. Like, Dishonored is such a letdown for me as a game. You know, I was all about that game, guys. And then almost immediately, the thing that turned me off is the way the ability system worked was, you know, it's amazing for me how much game mechanics can screw something over. Like, if the graphics are good and the gameplay's good, but the mechanics suck, I can't play it. What I mean by that is if you take, like, Dishonored, graphics are fine, it's fun, the environment's fine, everything about it is fine, gameplay's fine, environments are fine. So what's the problem? Well, the mechanic of, you know, if you slaughter a bunch of guards and go on a killing spree, the world turns darker, and, you know, I didn't want that. So, like, alright, well, I just won't slaughter anybody. But then I realized not slaughtering enemies became a bit of a nuisance. Like, the whole game, for me, wasn't supposed to be, like, Splinter Cell, and I thought I could actually go and get some action. So, I had all these awesome abilities, like in Dishonor you can call swarms of rats and stuff like that. I didn't want to do any of that. Like, doing any of that would screw up like the world around me, so basically the coolest abilities, and probably over half the abilities, were combat abilities, which I should never have been using. That's a total pain, total letdown, mechanic failure. And mechanical things like that just really hold games back for me. Nothing will hold a game back for me like poor mechanical stuff. It's just so bad for me as a gamer. Can't get over it. Like little faults like that I could get really, really hung up on. So another game that I actually, of course, have beaten, but I never got all the achievements on and will never go back to, is the Deus Ex Human Revolution. I think that's what it's called. You know, the most recent release of Deus Ex on a next-gen console. Great game, really, great game, swear by it. But the experience system is, in my opinion, moronic. So that's another of those games where you get experience by doing things instead of just by completing things. So in order to get the most possible XP, I had to go around and knock out a bunch of guards I could have just avoided. You know, in Deus Ex, there's a million ways to approach that game, from slaughter everyone, to silent take down the guards, to just sneak around and never interact with the guards. The problem is the only one that really gives you the maximum EXP is finding all the places, finding all the little tunnels and stuff to get experience, and then knocking all the guards out to get all their experience. Just a bunch of unnecessary tasks. And once again, going into like hardcore combat with people will actually gimp you late game. The game is easy enough that you don't need lots of experience, but I have sort of a perfectionist mentality about me when it comes to gaming, where I want my characters within reason to be, you know, as strong as possible. So in Deus Ex, I spent so much time trying to power level without even realizing I didn't realize what a commitment it would be. And it was a big letdown for me, the whole experience playing Deus Ex. The story was fine, the gameplay was fine. Definitely would recommend the game as a bargain bin, like $20, $15 game, probably worth buying. Quetzalcoatl learns card mod. Alright guys, once we get this one, I'll show you what all this grinding has been in preparation for. We literally just need 30 AP to see it. Which will not be the end of my power leveling session, because there's other things I'm going to want to get. Which you guys will see. Get him! So some other things I wanted to talk to anybody who's watching this, because if they're watching this long, they're clearly just interested in what I have to say and not so much gameplay, because we haven't had any fresh gameplay out of this game in, since the Fire Cavern, frankly. And so I'm thinking about starting some new series on this channel. Dota's definitely going to stay. Dota will likely stay as a current mainstay of the channel. When Dark Souls 2 comes out, it'll definitely get uploaded to the channel as well. That's all pretty cool. Plenty of games to play. I don't need to buy any games, but I'm trying to increase my upload frequency, and I've been succeeding. I'm not the kind of person that can go from uploading occasionally to uploading all the time. Like, I have to gradually wean myself into it, because it is kind of an inconvenience for me to render it, put it on YouTube. It doesn't take that long, but it is hell on my connection, so I can't really play other online games when it's uploading very efficiently. Which means I can't play Dota. It means I can't play anything but single-player games. So, once Dark Souls 2 comes out, I'll have something to play at least, but that becomes a... What's the word? That becomes sort of a problem as well. Because you spend all this time, like, playing the Dark Souls that you then have to upload. And so I've got, you know, I'm playing Dark Souls to cover other uploads, but then I don't have anything to play during other uploads. Like, I have so much back archival footage, guys. Like, you know, I probably have enough archival footage that I could upload every single day of a week for a month. Hands down. But it's just the whole rendering and upload process that's taking a lot longer. I wish I had something I could automatically, like, start rendering right after I completed it, but that kind of automation is just stupid. It's better just to let the person handle it. So it's a matter of motivation. I'm trying to get that going, so I think that this is a good game to kind of wean me back into post-game commentary, because Dota, for me, is admittedly always an in-game. I can't stand post-game commentary Dota. I don't like when other people do it. You know, I like my Dota comms to be during the actual match. So that's why I always do it live. Now that Dota 2 has the ranked matchmaking, I think that'll also sort of bring a higher level of gameplay, not only from myself, but from the other people in my games. Anyway, I've been trying to think of some new series to start besides the, you know, Dota, the Dark Souls, and the Final Fantasy VIII. Like, maybe some topical series like Real Talk Tuesdays or Failure Fridays. I screw a lot of things up. I'm one of those people that just has a gift for screwing up simple things. And to a point, we all have that gift. We can all do that. I do it so frequently and so well, guys. So good at screwing up the easy things in life. And oh no, he's gonna hit me with fire. Need more magic defense. Didn't power level enough. Die. So anyone have any ideas what they might want to see as a series? More so topical things. Not games, guys. Please don't send me a list of like, could you play these 50 games? Like, A, I don't want to buy them. B, if I haven't uploaded it yet and I own it, I probably don't want to upload it or haven't really found the method. Like, a lot of people ask me to do Grand Theft Auto 5, and that's cool, but not like a big Grand Theft Auto guy. I bought the Grand Theft Auto 5. I played it for probably 15 hours, had a good time with it. We'll probably never finish it. Because that's on the Xbox, and my Xbox is sitting in a box somewhere in one of my closets because I took it off my shelf to put the PS4 out there. I love the PS4, recommend it to anyone. I've been playing Call of Duty Ghosts on there. I think I'm like 3rd Prestige, so clearly I don't go hard on it. Frankly, because it's not that great of a game. I remember when the only Call of Duty I remember ever actually playing over other games, like... So Call of Duty exists like this in my gaming world. I have nothing else to play, so I'll play Call of Duty right now. But right now, since I have all sorts of other games to play, I just learned Doom because it's cool. Probably never use it, but there's probably nothing else here I really need. Well, Ellie attack junctions. These are both useful. Elemental attack junctions fairly unique. We'll get that. You don't see a whole lot of elemental attack junctions on GF, so learning it's probably worthwhile just to have somebody with it. I'll rarely, if ever, need it. In fact, I likely will never need it, but I'll likely never actually need any of that stuff, so I might as well go ahead and grab it. Does anyone, you know, so, I'm not, is it talking to you guys as if it's a live audience? This isn't Twitch TV. So if anyone should think of anything they'd like me to maybe talk upon or do, you know, I can do that. The one piece of advice that won't help me anymore is more Dark Souls, more Demon Souls. Nah, guys, I play those at my own pace. And honestly, I'm kind of over Dark Souls. Like, I have one character that's been in construction for a long time and is slowly moving along. I'll likely do some last-ditch PvP with my last Dark Souls character before I go Dark Souls 2. I'm very, very skeptical that I'll like Dark Souls 2 as much as I like Dark Souls 1. But I'm definitely going to get it. I'm definitely going to play the hell out of it. It's just a question of, you know, I don't have that high of hopes. Some of the changes they've made to the game, and yes, I was in all betas. I was in the first beta, the second beta, the third beta. I tried to be in their crashed beta. You know, I watched the Nightmare of the Candle. So, I mastered the beta. I beat both bosses in the beta. I PvP'd in the beta and crushed people. It was a good time. But the way it played and the way it felt was, frankly, a little gross. It took sluggish, in my mind, to a whole new level, and it took what I consider to be pretty much a junk level up system. That's all fine. Like, none of that is a big deal to me. I'm just kind of pointing out that maybe not so good. That's kind of my thoughts on it. Maybe just not so good is the best way to describe it. I have no doubt the game will be, at a minimum, a 7 out of 10 for me. That's not fair. I have no doubt the game will be at least an 8 out of 10 for me. It has the basic soul mechanics. That's an 8 out of 10 for me. There's potential for it to be a 9 or a 10 out of 10. I really doubt it. I think the PvP is going to be not so great in it. The PvP in the beta sucked. But it was a beta. Which is the most useless comment, by the way. When people put up beta videos, which I did not do deliberately, because it's actually against the terms of the beta, and I realize that people put it up anyway, but I was going to be that guy. I consider being in that beta. See, I want to be in the Dark Souls 2 beta. Really, really bad. So when I got in, I kind of considered that a grace thing. Like, I figured violating my own beta terms would be like, bad karma. But I'll tell you, I look at other people's beta stuff and I comment and share my thoughts. One thing I think is absolutely moronic is when people say, "Oh, this is just a beta. You're not being fair. It's a beta." Like, no, that's not how betas work. Like, just because it's in beta doesn't mean you can excuse anything in the game you don't like, because you have absolutely no guarantee that they won't change. Basically, having been in a lot of betas in my lifetime, most of my experiences from going beta to full game has been they fix problems and bugs and things like that, which is all essential, but fundamental mechanics, in my experience, do not change all that often. Thus, all sorts of problems. But people insist on, it's just a beta, guys. Everything about this game will be fixed. There'll be no problems by release. It's all just a beta problem. Like, no. By the time it's a playable beta, like, a lot of work has been put into it. This is not true of all games. Like, certain games betas mean more. So, like, if you're in the Hearthstone beta, which I am. Great game, by the way. I like Hearthstone a lot. I don't play it very much, but I like it. It seems like another money sink for me. All these free-to-play games just turn into total money pits for consumers, including myself. I always thought I'd be that guy that would beat the free-to-play system. Like on Dota, when they first had the Dota cosmetics, I was like, screw that, guys. I'm never buying cosmetics. Big waste of money. Instead, I'll get sweet as hell at the game. And you know how Valve got me? Volvo got me because, well, it's a really good item drop for me. Like, we're talking substantial value. Basically, in a nutshell, someone bought me the Dodo gaming mouse that comes with the Kansuna for Juggernaut. So I equipped it, because, I mean, if you got it, why not equip it? And I was like, oh, that looks sweet. So I had this Kantusa sword that I thought was epic. Then I had, a couple rares drop and stuff like that. Nothing that impressive. Then a Visage of the Ivy Isles dropped, and I was like, oh, man, that looks cool on Jug. It's all this stuff on my Juggernaut. Well, then they released the chest that had strange items, and I was like, oh, man. Tracking kills, that's worthwhile to me. For $2.50, I can get an item that tracks my kills on Nature's Prophet, and that's awesome. So I paid far out the butt for that, and, eventually I was like, well, I've come this far, so I might as well get, like, a really pimped out Juggernaut and a really pimped out Nature's Prophet, and then I'll just kind of chill out with it. Then that's how they get you. Then it becomes, once you finish one thing, it's on to the next. Well, I've got this character pimped out. Why not this one? Well, I've got this character pimped. Why not this one? That's a cool one. Mid-level magic from other magic. So if you have 100 cures, you can turn those into curas. You can turn curas. You get the idea. Is that worth doing? I can basically get some Thundages right now, so Thundages might be useful to me. Yeah, I'll go ahead and learn it. It's going to be more useful than anything else, because I hate this summon magics, because I don't actually summon them. Nothing could be more useful than that. But okay, so... Oh, my phone just died. That sucks. Okay, so let's cash out, dudes. Okay, let's do that. Then we're going to do this. So basically, I converted those cards into items. Or I converted those cards into items. In this case, they were turned into windmills. Windmills refine into tornadoes. So now, everybody gets tornadoes, which is awesome. What else can we do? I can't do Cure Magic yet. I can only do... Well, that's pretty much all I can do right now. I have a bunch of cards that also refine into things, but now is not a good time. One thing that is wild is you can basically you can turn Samantha Souls into triples, so you can do triples early game. It all depends on what you want to give up. X potions, pet houses, that's useless. Chief's knives, these turn into deaths eventually. Where's my regular Tomberry? I think 10 will get me there. Water and ice magic from an item. Yeah, see, I can't refine those yet, but eventually you'll have the refinement to turn all that stuff into all sorts of awesome stuff. So, while we're here, we'll also junction Seifer a little better. So now we have strength plus 20, so we can give Seifer even more strength and get Seifer to the point where he's just one-shotting Galbadia soldiers even better than he currently does, which is impossible. However, I do get to now successfully junction the power level of these characters now. So junction magic, 92 strength, guys, 92 strength. We're going to destroy them. What? Go down here. We're gonna go save because we've spent so much time power leveling. Should be a moment of truth. Wait, what is this? I don't know what's up with that. I've never seen one of these enemies before. Anyway, they're just gonna go no mercy him because he's in a special uniform. I'm scared of him. I don't know what he's gonna do to me, so I'm just gonna hurry up and one-shot him. 2,000 damage off of Seifer's introductory level at level 20. Oh, that guy's worth 2 AP. That's awesome. So run all the way home here. Now, at this point, you really can just stop leveling if you want. There's really no need to keep going. I, however, will most likely keep going just for a little bit because I've got all the essentials. I'd now like to learn... I don't really care about Quetzalcoatl, so basically after 150-ish, I'll pretty much be done. Because I do want to learn mid-magic refine. I do want to learn these two junctions. So, on her, I do want to learn elemental attack junction. And so, since this is 160, these are 60 now. These will finish about the same time. Elemental attack junction, I mean. And I don't need any of the rest of this crap. So with Infrared, like, strength plus 40 will be done soon. And then I want to learn strength plus 60, so I'm basically staying until I get strength plus 60, and then I'm out. But that's probably enough for this playthrough. You guys kind of get the general premise of how this works, so I appreciate everyone watching and listening to me talk about some various topics with you guys. I hope you'll stick with this series and maybe consider some other series on the channel in the future, and I will see everyone next time. This seems like a fitting thing to end it on. Let's just see how much a triggered Gunblade will do. 1,000 damage. Whack. Went from 200 to over 1,000. How awesome is that? Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see everyone next time.